All right, so on to the next part of our project here. So we have all the painting, all the repairs to the risers and stuff done, all the trim, handrail, and whatnot. So we're gonna put the balusters back in now. So I ran into an issue stripping the paint off of the old balusters. I use citrus strip, and it worked really well to take the paint off, but there's like this leftover coating on the wood. All right, so these are the ones I picked up from Lowe's. These are 34 inch, and they have this removable pin here, which is really nice. So if I need to, when I'm trimming this, right, so these are tapered, so if I trim too much off of here, this thing's gonna be really wide here. So the holes that we have right now are about 5/8 inch in the bottom of the handrail here. So we're gonna take a peek here and see how these match up. All right, so you'll see, these won't be bad. I can trim, you know, probably 1.5 inches, 2 inches off of these. And my worry was that I'd have to trim off of the bottom. That's kind of why I bought these ones, because they had the removable pin. So if I need to take any material off the bottom, I can, and still stick that pin, that locator pin in here. So these will actually sit in the holes that are on the stairway already. Right, on the stair tread. So measuring up here, these holes in the bottom here are about 5/8. And I was a little worried that if I cut too much off of here, it would be too wide. It would be too wide to actually fit in here, but it looks like we're gonna be okay. I may have an issue with is this one. As you can see how much I have to trim off, but it's pretty much the same width to right about here. And that's when it starts getting wider. So I think it'll be okay. I won't have to trim anything off the bottom of these, and it'll work out pretty well. So what I'm doing right now is these particular pins that fit in the bottom here, these locator pins. Obviously, I'm gonna wood glue this when I go to install these permanently, but the holes that are here already, you'll notice that if I stick this locator pin in here, it's raised above the surface here. So what I did is I got myself a 3/4 inch spade bit right here. All right, and if you look at the width of this, it's about exactly 3/4. So what I'm doing is I'm just kind of going in the pre-existing holes here, and I'm drilling down in them. And what that's doing is it's cleaning out any of the remaining glue that was in there, and it is recessing them even more so these locator pins can fit in. So I already did the first 3 treads here, and as you can see, now it sits below the surface, and that's what we want. Also, we want to make sure to drill straight down, right? We don't want to go on an angle here. Okay. So, this guy fits good. This one I still have to do. This guy now. And some of the glue actually just came out, so that's perfect. So that's really good there. And then we have one more left here. Right down here. All right, so we're all cleaned up now. I'm just gonna go back through and double check all of these. Make sure we fit everywhere. Sounds good. Just make sure they're all countersunk, so when we put them in, we don't have an issue with the bottom of the baluster actually sitting up like this or something, you know? So it looks like I need to clean this up a little bit here. So I'm just gonna use a wood chisel. We had the hardwood floors refinished, and the balusters, the previous balusters were in place. So when they went around and refinished the treads on these stairs, obviously they couldn't, you know, with the baluster installed in place, everything else around where the baluster was got sanded down. So there is this little raised surface here. So all I'm doing is I'm knocking that down. All right, so I got a 5/8 bit here, and we're gonna go through, and we are gonna clean all of these out. Just to make sure, so we'll be careful. Don't want to do any damage. All right, so we're gonna get ready to measure our very first baluster here. I'm just gonna start on the bottom, I guess. So all I'm gonna do with the little pin in place here is I'm gonna, actually, it doesn't really matter if they have the pin in place or not, but that'll help keep it kind of straight on the bottom. We know that we had, I'm sticking this up in here, about yay much, right? So this whole thing actually would almost fit in here, but what we're gonna do, right, because it's gonna be hard to get this up in the hole because the hole is almost the same diameter as this. It's gonna be hard to get this up in the hole and then locate it in the place, right? So we want enough in here to engage the handrail, but we don't want so much where we can't fit this in place. So I'm just gonna actually mark this about halfway up the handrail, and we'll see what we get here. All right, we're back. So I actually trimmed this down a little bit here. You can see the original one, I took probably 3/16 off. So we are going to get some glue on this guy. I'm gonna put this back up in here. All right, give it a couple twists. All right, and we're in place. I'm gonna add a bunch of wood glue here, and then I'm just gonna take a wet rag after, and we will clean that up really nice. All right, so let's get this guy into place, and we'll just kind of give it a little twist here like that. We got glue leaking out everywhere, and we'll just clean it up here. I'm gonna aim you down here so you can see. And any little gap we have in the backside here, we can just fill in with paintable caulk. We will just clean up our glue. We'll wait for these to dry, and then I'm gonna go ahead and paint them all. So I'll show you guys. Let's bring you up close here. So it's actually sitting down really nice on all the sides, so I really don't have to mess with putting any paintable caulk on here. So I'll give you the full view here. Here's the first one. Sure looks really, really nice. It actually looks a little crooked. I think it's just because of the taper maybe. And we chose not to replace the banister and the handrail. We did want to do oak, but with the price of stuff right now, it was like $400 for me to do this, so totally wasn't worth it. Decided to do some paint instead, so let's install the rest of these.